everyone, it's Kerry back with you today. Today I'm going to be creating a tag from the lovely Tracie Fox's December Daily Advent Tags kit. Tracie invited me to participate in her Advent Tag collab for December 2022 and of course I said yes, and I was gifted day 13 of Tracie's kit. So today I'm going to be making a tag using this page, but you will also find in the kit there are a couple of extra pages with just some other elements in. This is a full-size page. These are the two pages that are extras, but I have just printed them down to fit half on each page. So you can see this one is a smaller version of that page, and this is the other extras page. So I'm just going to go and cut out some elements from all of these sheets, and when I've done that I'll come back and we'll get started with our tag. Okay, so I've cut out all my bits and pieces from the kit. I'm just going to quickly go through and tell you what I've cut out at what size in case you want to cut your items all at once before you begin. So I printed out 3 of the page 13 or for day 13, and I cut out all of the elements once, and then I cut an extra 2 of the tags. So I have 3 of the printed tags, and then I have 1 lot of all the other elements from page 13. From the extras page, on the pages that I shrunk down to fit 2 to a page, I've cut these 2 tags from the bottom corner of this page. From this page I have cut the smaller piece of holly and one of the medium-sized buttons, or they're probably the large buttons, and then this little card from the top corner. And from the full-size extras page I have punched out this little Let It Snow with my punch. And then a couple of other things I've gathered is I have this lovely thin cotton material that I'm going to use. I have a small white doily. I've got a little bowl pin here with a button and a snowflake charm, and then some other bits to pop in the top of the tag, some seam binding, some fabric and some string. So I thought I might make a bit of a Babushka style tag for my tag. If you haven't seen the original Babushka tag video, I'll leave a link in the description box below where you'll be able to find that. But this will be sort of a half version of the Babushka tag. So the first thing I need to do is fold my tag in half. And then I'm just going to snip my corners off. Alright, so I'll then pop that one to the side. So I've got my second tag here. This would be the top. I'm just going to turn that upside down. I'm going to line it up on my cutting mat here. And I'm going to cut approximately 5.5 centimetres off of the edge of this tag. Then I'm going to pop this piece aside. So now I have this piece of the tag with my top corner here. I'm going to bring in my original tag, and I need to adhere this down on the inside of this tag, just like a little bit of a liner for the tag. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue stick because I will be stitching around the edge. So just lining that up and then pressing that down. I can go in with my scissors and cut that edge off. Okay, so now I've got this piece lining, and I want to trim off a little bit of this edge, so I'm going to make a bit of a pocket here. So I'm just going to line this up again with my cutting mat. And I'm going to cut off roughly 2.5 centimetres. So now when I close my tag, I've got a normal tag on the front here, and on the back I've got a tag with a little pocket behind. So I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to sew all the way around the edge, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now I've stitched all the way around my tag, and I have my little pocket here, and I probably should have inked that first. that's all right, we can cheat and do it this way. And for my ink, I'm going to use weathered wood today. Just going to brush some of that off first. So a little bit of ink on that pocket edge there. And then I'll just use a dauber to go around the edge. So the next thing I want to do is take the little snowman tag from page 13, and I'm just going to quickly ink around the edge. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of this lovely thin cotton fabric, make sure that my tag will fit, and I've got a little bit of an edge all the way around. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue stick on the back because I'm going to sew around the back. I'm going to sew around the tag, sorry. So I just need to tack it down for the moment. And then I'm just going to snip off a piece of the fabric, leaving enough to fray the edge. Now I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch around the edge, and I'll be right back. So there we go. Now I've stitched around the edge and I've got this little fabric edge going all the way around. I'm just going to cut my fabric across the edge of the tag and then just sort of pull on the ends there to get that to fray up a little bit more for me. Okay, so he's ready to attach here. Now I want to leave a little bit of space at the top of my tag to put my hole, or I'm actually going to put a slot across the top rather than a hole. So I'm just going to take some art glitter glue and I'm just going to glue that down onto the tag. It's more towards the bottom than the top of the tag. Like that. Okay, then I'll take the other little embellishment, or a couple of the other little embellishments from page 13. I've got the Let's Get Frosty and the number 13, and again I'm just going to pop a little bit of ink around those. Just pop a little bit of art glitter glue on the back. Stick that one down there. And then our little number 13, just going to place that one up here. Okay, so I'll set that one aside to dry. So now I've got the third tag that I printed out, and I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to line it up on the edge of my cutting mat here. And on the open side, so this side is folded closed, I'm going to cut 2 centimetres off the edge here. Now I'll need one of these pieces for later, so don't throw those out just yet. So then I'll turn my tag this way, line it up again on my cutting mat, and I'm going to cut another 2 centimetres off what would have been the top of the tag. So I'm just going to pop these pieces in my little box so I don't accidentally throw them out. So now I have this shape, and I just want to make sure that it actually fits in my slot on the back, which it does. And then I'm going to line up the corner of my tag with our first tag, just so I'm getting the same shaped corner. And I'll snip that off, turn my tag over, line it up again, and snip it off again. So now I have this little tag that opens like this, and I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap card, and I've got an ink blending brush here. I'm just going to lightly ink all over the inside of this just to take that real stark white off. It doesn't matter if it's a bit heavier in some places than others. And then I'll take my ink blending tool and I'm going to ink all the way around both the inside and the outside. Okay, so now I have my tag inked around the edges on both sides and up the middle for the front. So I'm going to grab a couple of bits that I have cut out. So we've got this little image, we've got the butterfly from page 13. This was from one of the extras. And then this was one of the slivers that we cut off the side of this tag here. So again, back to inking. Okay, so I've inked just down the sides of this one because I'll need to trim it down to size. I'm just going to bring in my glue. Just going to use glue stick. And I'm going to come in, I don't know, about 1/2 centimetre or a bit more. And just glue that down there. And then take my scissors and trim the excess off. And then just tidy up those ends with a bit of ink. Then I'm going to take this little image and I'm going to pop it over the top just like that. You just need to make sure that the edge of this image doesn't cross over the halfway point of your tag, otherwise it will be a bit difficult for it to close. And then lastly, our little butterfly. And I'm just going to place that on an angle in this corner. Again, making sure his wings don't cross over the middle there. So that gives me a little bit of place to pop in some writing or whatever. And then we'll close that one up. Now that is going to slot into our main tag this way. So I want to pop some decoration onto this side. So it's kind of like it's on the back of the tag. So this would be the front and that's the back. So I want my decoration to be on the back. So I've taken these 3 pieces that I've cut out earlier and I've also picked out a doily from my stash. I'm just going to use the same ink and a stencil brush to add some colour to this doily. And then I'm just going to cut the doily in half. So I'll bring in our little tag insert and I want to make sure that I'm decorating on the back of this tag now. I'm just going to use glue stick to glue my elements down. And if I have any pieces overhanging, I can just trim those off. So there we go, we've got our little tag ready there. And then with the remaining pieces, the Santa Claus tag and the little snow circle and my other half doily, I've just glued those down using the same manner. This little tag will now slide nicely into our pocket, like this. And I've gone ahead and used a slot punch just to punch a hole in the top of my tag here. I've picked out a couple of pieces of crinkly seam binding that I've coloured with some Distress Oxide and just a piece of skinny white fabric. I'm just going to slide those into the little slot hole that I made here. And then just using a piece of cotton twine, I'm just going to tie a little bow around those pieces of ribbon. And to finish it off, I'm just going to add this little bulb pin with a white button and a little snowflake charm. There we go. So we have our number 13 page. We've got our snowman tag on the front there, a little number 13, and our Let's Get Frosty label. And then when we turn over, we can pull out our little tag here. And on the inside we've got the butterfly from the page, a couple of other little embellishments, some room for writing, all tucks in there, and that's our little tag. So I just want to thank Tracie for inviting me to participate in the December daily Advent tags. It was a lot of fun. I'll leave a link in the description box below to Tracie's amazing kit and also to her website where she has an Advent calendar with a clickable box that you can click on each day to visit the artist that is creating the tag for that day. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye.